welcome to meet the author of We Choose Joy. Thank you for listening to episode number 15. We have the beautiful Cathi with us today, a beautiful soul that I am so grateful to have in my life. And so I get to interview her today, and we are going to start off with her introducing herself and telling us a little bit about who are you and what do you do?
Well, first and foremost, I'm a born-again, spirit-filled Christian. My relationship with Christ is the absolute most important thing in my life. Second of all, I'm the mother of two absolutely incredible adult children, Micah and Malachiah, and they are my heart. So Micah is married. So I have a son-in-law named Luke, who I absolutely adore, and I prayed him into my daughter's life. Absolutely who I prayed for her to marry. And my daughter Malachiah is just an absolute jewel. And both my girls are they're just amazing human beings. And that just doesn't come from me. It comes from others as well. So it makes mama proud. Other than that, I am the founder and director of a ministry called Out of the Abundance. I consider myself a word expressionist. It's called Out of the Abundance, and I call it Out of the Abundance. It's based out of Matthew 12:34, which states, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And I share out of the abundance of my heart. And I truly believe that whatever's in your heart comes out in how you live and how you speak and how you are. And I share out of the abundance of my heart as an author, as a best-selling author, and as a poet, as a published poet, and as an advocate for people with disabilities, and then also mental health, and then also as a singer and songwriter. So those are the most significant things in my life. I absolutely love doing crafts. I love people. I absolutely love people. You'll hear me sometimes say I hate people, but that's not true. I hate how people treat other people. And so, because I love people so much, and it hurts my heart to see somebody just not treating other people well. And so that's when you'll hear I hate people, because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And when I see somebody hurt, it hurts my heart. And that's what comes out of my mouth. But it's not a true statement. It's the sentiment of my heart for seeing other people being hurt. So
I totally relate to that. So thank you for sharing that truth. So thank you.
mm-hmm.
I think a lot of us say that phrase in some way or another, and it's like, it's not really like the people. I hate the hate of the people. So
Yes.
I totally get that. Thank you for sharing that. Well, with that, what made you decide to be a part of this amazing anthology with 21 other women?
Well, I was I helped with the first anthology. I was asked to volunteer there. And so I'm friends with several of the people from the book. And being at the launch for that, I was just so amazed by the women that were in the book, and just hearing their teasers, hearing a little bit about each story. And then after reading the book and hearing all of their stories, I was just so amazed at having that wealth in one book. I just thought, wow, this is so amazing. What a jewel, So when the second book came up and I was asked to be a part of it, I jumped on it. I was like, yes, because what a neat concept to bring a bunch of women together to share, from their hearts and what they've gone through to help other women. So I was like, yes, I want to be a part of this, so I jumped right on it. I've known Linda for years, and my friend Thasia was involved in the first book, and we're dear friends. And so she was one of the ones who encouraged me to be in the book. And so I was like, yes, I definitely want to be a part of this, because I think God is going to use it mightily. So that's what made me decide to be a part of it.
Yes, and he has already. I mean, we've already been hearing stories of how this book has impacted other people and how it's going to continue to impact people in communities and groups and individuals. So would you like to share part of what your chapter was all about? Give us a little
Sure.
teaser or share a few things about it?
Sure. Well, I've always wanted to write a book, and I've always been told, "Oh, you should write a book. You should write a book about your story, about your life." And I've always wanted to, but it's always been like too big of a project, I guess, to do. And I've started it numerous times, and it gets to be too broad, you know. So the opportunity to do a snippet, like a snippet of it, was perfect. It was like God answering my prayer of, God, I know that, you didn't have me go through what I went through in life, for nothing. It was not for naught. And I know you want me to share my story with others. Um, and so I feel like this was an answer to prayer to start the ball rolling, to start sharing my story, because it wasn't a huge commitment of time. It wasn't a huge commitment of thought. It wasn't and it narrowed it down because I was limited to the amount of space I had.
That
you
was
know,
difficult. That was difficult for sure.
it was difficult. It was difficult, but it was perfect though, because it made me narrow things down to make it, shorter and precise and get right to the point. And I was able to do that in a beautiful way. I prayed and I asked God, and I'm like, okay, God, lead me. What exactly do you want me to share? And I felt like, he did that, and I was able to share exactly what I felt like people needed to hear. And I've gotten positive feedback on that, because people have said to me, oh, that has really blessed me. I really needed to hear that. So I know that's exactly what I was supposed to write, So, and I know that there's more, but it was a beautiful stepping stone.
Yes. Oh, what
So,
a way to put it. Yeah, stepping stone for sure. Stepping
mhm,
stone into greater faith, stepping stone into more courage, stepping
yes,
stone into more truth. I love that.
right.
So, would you be interested in another anthology, or would you consider writing your own book? What are your thoughts on those two subjects?
Well, in the future, I definitely will be writing a book, my own book about my life, a full book about my life. I am interested in writing another anthology. I'm very interested in writing another anthology. And I'm also in the process of doing an anthology that has a little bit of a twist. I'm a poet. And so I want to do an anthology that's actually pairing up poets with photographers. And so a photographer would take a picture, and a poet would write a poem based on that picture. And I want to do it based on Erie, PA, where I live, so that we're telling people about Erie using the talents of the people of Erie. So I think that would be, something really special. So that's something that's in the works for me as well.
I love that, because I actually just had a conversation with another one of the authors of our book from Erie. I'm in Colorado, so I was one of the outsiders of the anthology about curating a book on poets. There's another one about prayer. So we've had these conversations. So what I love about these interviews is that it's like stirring our ideas, and I don't think we're done with each other yet, right? Because
Right.
we just like collaborated in such a beautiful way, some of us more than others. And distance doesn't need to prevent you from making beautiful connections. And I think that that's one of the beautiful things about community online, about anthologies, about just women in general. Like, we don't hold anything back. We don't let anything get in our way of the connections that are meant to be in our life. So I love that you shared that, and you have so much on your heart. I know part of your heart, just that from getting to know you over the last year and a half, and I would love to make space for you to share with the listeners anything that you want to share, and anything that might be on your heart for us to take away from your time here. So go for it.
Well, another thing that I'm super excited about is I'm in the process of writing a book
Yes.
on, yes, on generational trauma, which is basically what Out of the Abundance focuses on, is helping people identify and address generational trauma. And the book is going to be, it's going to be called Healing the Soul, Breaking Generational Trauma in the Kingdom. So it is going to be geared towards Christians, but anybody will be able to benefit from it. But it's going to be helping helping the church and helping spiritual leaders be able to connect with the mental health system to help Christians who have dealt with years and years and years of generational trauma be able to find the right resources to break that. Because I think what happens a lot of times is people will only use the church or only use the mental health system, and they're going, why isn't this working? And realizing that sometimes it takes both systems to work together to break that, to break that trauma. So that's what the book is about. And I'm really excited about it because the pastor that I'm writing the book with is going to be taking it from the pastoral standpoint, and I'm going to be taking it from the mental health standpoint. So I'm really, really excited about it. I know that God's going to do absolutely amazing things through the book. And I know I'm not writing it as fast as the pastor really wanted me to write it, but I really wanted to put some really good thought into it. And I really want to think about the people that I met as a therapist and what they would need and want to hear. So I wanted to really take my time with it and be as thorough as possible with it. So I'm super excited about that.
That's a perfect pairing. I can't wait to read it.
Yes. I'm super, super, super excited about it. And the other exciting thing is that I was just officially ordained as a minister through the National Association of Christian Ministers. I'm super excited about that as well.
Congratulations.
Yes. So I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to going into some prisons and going into hospitals and just being able to love up on people, because there's some people who just don't have enough love and don't have people in their lives, and and I want to be able to be Jesus's arms and feet, his mouthpiece to those people.
I love that.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
Well, congratulations. I know that's something that you were definitely pursuing, and let nothing get in your way. I know you had a lot of roadblocks trying to prevent you. And so many times when we're meant to do something, we have a lot of obstacles thrown in our way to derail us. So you're just a beautiful example of how you don't let anything get in the way of what God has for you. So beautiful, beautiful soul. Thank you for that. Is there anything else you want to share today? Or, that's so much. So thank you so much. But do you have any other messages or anything else you want to share with us today?
I can't really think of anything. Well, my chapter is called I Remember, and it talks about remembering that you're loved. And I think a lot of times we all might forget that because of circumstances or things that we've gone through or things that have been said to us or whatever. So I just want to remind people that they are loved by an incredible God, and they are loved by even by the people around them, and that sometimes hurt might not make it look like love, but sometimes people love you with whatever they have.
That's a good reminder.
Yeah. So I just want to remind everybody that they are loved, and it might not look like what you need it to look like, but that they are loved.
Thank you.
To remember that.
A lot of people are going to benefit from that, because I think that's where a lot of hurt comes from, is only looking at our own perspective and instead of other people's perspectives. And that's hard. It's challenging. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's very important. So thank you so much for that. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing all the parts, that you wanted to share today. And to the listeners, thank you so much for listening to episode number 15. And until next time, we have more authors coming. Thank you very much.
Thanks.